Hello, everybody, and welcome in to today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. My name is Sunny, and you are listening on Tuesday, September 28th. We are moments away from the new format, but before we get there, we have one last episode, our season finale, if you will.
Oh, yeah, we got like one more week from recording until, October 1st ban list.
The actual, it takes place.
Yes.
Yeah, exciting stuff. I don't know. I'm excited. I think it'll be a good place for the format to be. I think it's a good transition. But before we start getting too deep and before we start talking about all that, I do want to take a moment to shout out our patrons. Thank you so much to Anthony Lila, Owen Alvarado, Mountain Man, Aaron Gardner, Myth Oceanus, Ace Micah, Pig, Scuzz Daddy, Adil Saeed, Jeremy Drysdale, Ray Powell, and Austin Johnson. Thank you so much, everybody. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you so much for that. And I also want to take a moment to read our latest review on Apple Podcasts.
Woo!
Super helpful from that random guy on your couch. Wait a minute. Caleb, was this you?
I'm not random.
That's fair. I know you. Okay, so this
You invited me.
Fair enough. All right, so the review is, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For 1 month now, and this podcast has been a lifesaver. All of the news they provide and just general info is great. P.S. Came over from Spotify to give this awesome podcast a review. Thank you so much, random man from my couch. I really appreciate it. I'm sure Caleb does too.
Oh, absolutely. Especially all that extra effort you went into going to a different platform.
Exactly. So, all of you listening on Spotify that are not listening on Apple iTunes, you have no excuses. You have no excuse. Just make the leap and just create your little iTunes account, hop on, and just make a quick review, quick rating. So, thank you so much for that. But going into it, man, I almost forgot about the last thing I want to do. So, on our Twitter account, we started something new. We started doing the podcast question of the day. Today's podcast question was, what deck/archetype are you most looking forward to from Burst of Destiny? We got a bunch of good replies. So we have several people talking about Despia. I don't know why. I don't want to talk about Despia. Ew, gross. But a couple of Despia replies, a couple of Boral or Rocket support replies. Mm-hmm. Sword Soul, Hero, Magic Key.
Oh yeah, the new Magic Key main deck monster. Oof.
Mm-hmm. And they have a new season of Synchro coming too. So
yeah, but that main deck monster though, spicy.
Yep. What are you most looking forward to?
Personally, Sword Soul. I just like getting some more worm support and just the concept of these Dragoman wielding claymores.
I think it's not even just claymores. I think they're supposed to be like
it's random
legendary swords from Chinese lore.
Yeah, but because their size, I'm just like, they're claymores. There's Y-handers. There's no way you're one-handing one of those.
Yeah. I think what I'm most looking forward to is, honestly, I'm really looking forward to Hero being really relevant again. And more than just a Hero package. I'm looking forward to more than just Destroy Phoenix Enforcer.
Yeah, just Hero in general being
playable.
Yeah. Hopefully for under $500 for 2 cards.
Honestly.
Come on, give us that Dusted Gold and Malicious Bane reprints. We need them.
Desperately.
God.
So, are you planning on picking up any of the decks out of Bode?
Straight out of Bode, I'm actually considering Sword Soul, depending upon how expensive that might end up becoming.
Fair.
If it's actually like within, I'd say maybe $200 to get up the core of the deck, I'd probably just go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah, I think Sword Soul is probably going to be post January 17th ban list. I think it'll probably just be the best deck after that.
Yeah, either that or it's most likely it's either going to be that or something that we just don't have the 5-head to look ahead into the future to see.
Right. I'm probably most looking forward to the Hero stuff, honestly. And if not that, then the new B Trooper support.
Oh yeah.
No, it's probably the B Trooper stuff. Now that I think about it, I'm probably most looking forward to the B Trooper support.
But you played Heroes back in the day.
Yeah. I used to play skill drain beat heroes like
With the Shining.
Yeah, the Shining, Escuardo. That was more like bubble beat heroes because I think we already had the Blade Armor Ninjas.
Yeah.
So it would let you could special summon Bubble Mans, and then you could overlay into the Blade Armor Ninja and push for big damage. And then you're also capable of still playing the what's the package with the skill drains and stuff?
Oh, it was like Skill Drain, Beast King Barbaros.
Yeah. You just normal summon a 3,000 beater.
Yeah, and the dual mode dragon. Fusiliar.
No, I don't think it was Fusiliar the dual mode dragon, although it might have been.
I think he was part of it. It was just any monster you could get a hold of whose effect was, you can normal summon this card without tripping, but if you do, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. But the thing was, you were only running
You were pretty much just running Barbaros, as far as I remember. You yourself, I remember, were only running Barbaros.
Well, I think the deck only ran 8 monsters.
Yeah, something like that. And it was a bunch of fusions and...
Yeah, it was Miracle Fusions, Super Polys.
Yeah. Return from a Different Dimension, I think, was part of it, too.
No, that was banned already.
Yeah, that was banned by then? Okay.
Yeah. So, but...
And that was 11 years ago, give or take.
Yeah. About that long.
Yeah, 10, 11 years ago, something like that. Yeah, that was before I had made the switch off of Black Wings.
No, that was after you switched off of Black Wings.
What did I switch on to then? I don't remember.
Cash Dragons.
Right. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
So,
but, so be sure to check out our Twitter account at Top Cut Podcast to get all the latest info for our podcast question of the day. You could have your answers read here on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Past that, I think the next thing to talk about is probably get right on into our next main segment, which would be the Chalislime Monthly, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which ended a couple hours ago.
Yeah, it did not end long ago at all.
Oh yeah. So first off, we have the list for the entire tournament. We don't have specific numbers or anything, just the percentages. So of the entire tournament, 9% of the entire player base were on Tri-Brigade of some kind.
Right.
7% Phantom Knight, 5% Drytron, 5% Virtual World, 5% Invoke Dogmatica, 4% Salamangreat, 4% Grand Maju, 3% Owllich, 3% Dragon Lynx, 3% Prank Kids, 57% Other.
Yeah, the thing you have to remember about the Chalislime Monthly, and I could be way off base saying this, is that this Chalislime Monthly gets a lot of really kind of rogue entries.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that I think there's a 128 man tournament. So 128 man tournament, for there to be 9% representation, you probably need around a dozen decks.
Something like that, yeah.
So you're probably looking around a dozen Tri-Brigades, around 10 Phantom Knights, around 8 Drytrons, Virtual World, Invoke Dogma, probably 7 Salad and Grand Maju, 6 Eldritch, Dragon Link, Prank Kids, and then everything else was 2 or less probably. If I had to guess, something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that. That sounds right to me, but I'm not good at math.
Yeah, keep in mind that this event was held post-ban list. This was new format with the 10 promos legal.
Yep.
So, it's interesting.
Oh yeah, no, very, very fascinating.
So, and then top 16 was 3 Tri-Brigade, 2 Phantom Knight, 2 Adagnister, 1 Prank Kids, 1 Drytron, 1 Eldritch, 1 Grand Maju, 1 B Trooper, 1 Amazement, 1 True Draco, 1 Mech Knight, and 1 ABC. Huh.
That's a lot of different decks.
It really is. 3 Tri-Brigade, I hate to say this, but I feel like everybody kind of knew that coming out of the ban list, Tri-Brigade might still just be the best deck of the format.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's so good. And now being able to use Crossout to protect yourself from Effect Veiler and Ash.
Imperm.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh yeah. No, they definitely got more of a bump coming up on October 1st when the 10s come out and the new ban list applies.
Yeah, for sure. So being able to, I don't know, being able to navigate all that is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
ABC being here is wild to me.
Yeah, I want to know what his deck list is.
Honestly. And I want to say B Trooper made it almost all the way to the finals here. We don't have the finals right in front of us.
Yeah.
But I want to say B Trooper made it like really far.
Yeah, which is really good. We also have it on really good authority that one of the Tri Brigades, I don't know which one, was a what was it? It was Generator Tri Brigade.
Wow.
One of those lists.
That's wild.
Yeah. Definitely interesting. I have no idea what generators do. Maybe produce electricity?
No, not quite. I don't remember what they do, to be completely honest with you. I just know that this is not something that you would expect.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm pretty sure that a good chunk of their wins probably came from the fact that nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Which to be fair is a major thing. If you can just do your thing and your opponent have no idea what's going on.
So, it looks like finals here, and I could be wrong about this, was Prank Kids and Phantom Knights.
Ooh, interesting matchup.
Yeah, I literally just clicked on the finals. I clicked on the, the...
VOD.
Yeah, I just clicked to the VOD.
Yeah.
So, and if I'm guessing what it looks like here, yeah, it looks like Prank Kids win the whole thing.
Okay, then.
Interesting. New list Prank Kids winning the event.
Yeah, with only one Meow Meow Moo.
That's crazy. And I gotta be honest, I wrote off this deck entirely.
Oh, I didn't. I knew it was still going to be around.
I mean, around, sure, but like good. Oh, and he's playing the Verte Dragoon package.
Of course.
Of course. So
he probably didn't use it very often. Well, he either used it every round or he didn't use it at all.
Yeah.
I find with a package like that, it's one or the other. And it's usually the opposite one of what you think it would be.
Yeah.
My personal experience, anyway.
Well, it's interesting to say the least.
Oh, and we're definitely looking at, if this has anything to say about that cutting matter, we're looking at a very, very open...
it's gonna be a super wide open format going forward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
What else interests you here looking at this Top Cut representation?
Well, I mean, you got the ABC, you have the Amazement. I want to know if it's like pure Amazement or is it the Amazement Trap Tricks that's been going around?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because it just says Amazement. With the B Troopers, is it your standard B Trooper? Is it a more generalized B Trooper deck? Is it the B Trooper Trap Tricks deck we've seen going around?
I hope not.
Because a lot of the Trap Tricks monsters are insects, and therefore kind of fits in.
I hope not. Because I think pure B Trooper with like retaliating Seas, Doom Dozer, stuff like that is the way to go.
With some generic insect extenders, Gokapole, and so on and so forth, such with.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of, I'm so glad. We talked about it in the last episode, but I cannot tell you enough how happy I am that they reprinted Resonance Insect.
I know, right? And it's a holo.
Honestly.
Super nice. Super, super nice. I'm looking forward to OTS Pack 17.
I really am too. So.
Yeah.
What you weren't on the last episode, so you didn't get to talk about it. What were you upset about missing the last, the OTS 17?
Part of me wishes we gotten an access code reprint, but part of me is also glad we didn't.
That's not coming in 17 OTS.
Yeah, but like, part of me is glad it didn't, because then it would have been an ulti. And at that point, what's the point?
Fair.
Like, anytime they reprint something that's only ever been a secret and is like an $80 secret that they're like, yeah, sure, we'll reprint it as an ulti. I'm like, why even bother?
Yeah.
The ult is going to be more expensive than the original secret.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, pretty much everything else, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I'm glad that Portugal is finally getting its first printings of Puny Penguin and Hornet.
No, probably not their first printings, but. Yeah. It's crazy that Portugal always has an extra, like, 10 cards in their OTS packs.
Well, yeah, because I don't think Portugal started getting packs until, like...
No, I think they've had them from the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the reason I could think of they give them extra cards, because they haven't had near the sets and reprints we've had.
Yeah.
Maybe they never got any of the side sets or something, and they're trying to make up for that.
I don't think that's it. I really think that they just... get more than we do. So, in addition to the Chalislime monthly, we also have some interesting stuff as far as an OCG metagame breakdown. Now, this is some post format stuff, but it's not entirely indicative. Because obviously not all tournaments over there are running already on the most recent ban list.
Yeah, it's very much a case of the discretion of the local scene, whether or not they go ahead and shift over immediately or wait.
The other thing to consider here is that this is not coming from roadoftheking.com, which is where we normally get our OCG metagame breakdown information. This is all coming from a Twitter post that I found. So take that for what you will.
Take it with a salt shaker.
Yeah, a grain of salt.
No, salt shaker. The whole shaker.
The whole shaker.
Yep.
So, looking at this here, though, some things stand out. You're looking at 14% Phantom Knights, 13% Brave Prank Kids, 12% Tri Brigade, 10% Sword Soul, 6% Adamantia, 5% Eldritch, which is just Adamancipator, by the way, 5% Eldritch, 4% Phoenix Brave,
which I think is Phoenix Enforcer
with Brave Token,
and then a bunch of random stuff.
Probably just a bunch of hand traps.
Good stuff. Dot deck, basically.
Yeah. Then Drytron, Orchist, and at 4% each, and then 27% others. So what sticks out here to you?
Probably Orchist, but keep in mind that they have Harpor.
Fair.
So,
Orchist does seem to pop up on a lot of these. I guess that's why. And they also have that Grass is Greener, which I bet is awesome for the Orchist deck.
Yeah. Adamancipator being a thing also surprises me, but I'm not sure on block.
I'm almost positive it's banned over there.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm curious on what they're doing then that Adamancipator and the TCG aren't doing.
I don't know, man. It's the OCG. I don't read too much into it, know what I mean?
Fair enough. I mean, it's also probably just because the meta is so much slower comparatively.
True.
It might give them that little,
that extra time they need to set up.
Exactly.
Like if they get stopped, then they have the next turn to try again.
Exactly. Yeah. They have the knowledge of, okay, I'm probably not going to get OTK'd. Set up a couple of set a couple of cards past turn.
Right. Yeah, I guess I don't know about that, but
yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah. I think that the interesting thing is, if you look at the Phantom Knights, 60% are running the Phoenix Enforcer package, 11% are running the Brave Token package. But you have to remember, when you're talking about all these decks running the Phoenix Enforcer, Dragoon is banned.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
running it instead of Dragoon.
Right.
It is their version of Dragoon.
Right. So,
so they're never going to get a meta where they get to play with both Dragoon and Phoenix Enforcer.
like we'll have here in a month.
Yeah, which is the insanity that we're going to have to deal with. But I really think it'll just ultimately come down to pick one or the other.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna have room for both.
You're going to have those people who are going to do both.
I mean, yeah, in some like War Crime Gravekeeper deck.
Yeah, but it's going to happen. But most people are probably just going to stick with the Dragoon just because they already have it.
I would think so. I'm gonna say this though. I do believe that if it's below, if like the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is less than like 30.
Oh yeah, no, you're going to see a lot more Phoenix Enforcer. Just because it's cheaper. The whole package is cheaper.
Well, it's not just that. I think you should pick them up. Especially if it's like an Ultra or a Secret. You should definitely pick it up.
Oh yeah.
Live updates from the large avian individual, Giant Skyhawk. We do have some information. The top 4 was Prank Kids, Drytron, Melfi Tri Brigade, and PK for the Chalislime Monthly. And we know that top 8 involved a B-Trooper deck and the Amazement deck.
But no, like we're definitely looking, as we said before, we're definitely looking at a very wide open meta starting October 1st because, people are scrambling, trying out new things.
Yeah, and
trying to figure out the new decks.
I mean, when you look at things like Prank Kids and Phantom Knights, Tri Brigade, competing with decks like Sword Soul. I mean, think about Eldritch over there. Eldritch is a more competitive deck over there because of the way that meta is shaped.
Yeah.
Having cards like Maxi allows those decks to be competitive. But regardless, you're still looking at things like Phantom Knights. You're still looking at things like Prank Kids. You're still looking at things like Tri Brigade, just dominating the meta. So
big time.
Yeah, even Maxi can't slow the meta down that much.
Yeah, which is kind of impressive, actually.
Honestly, it is.
These decks being able to just kind of go, yeah, sure, Maxi. Sure, whatever.
I'll do it again next turn. I dare me.
Yeah, no. You'll draw half your deck. I dare you to Maxi me again. Do it, and I'll deck you out. Do it.
Yeah, for real.
It's like that Goofy meme.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Yuck. Oh my lord. But yeah. No, I mean, like even just our meta pre-bode, post banless, pre-Burst of Destiny, it's going to be wild. It's going to be like the Wild West again. Just people trying out random decks, trying to figure out what works now, what doesn't work. Us, you have the people who, as soon as their deck's on a ban list, immediately drop the whole deck and pick up something else.
Mm-hmm.
Then you also got the people who are trying to make the decks work the same way they'd work before with more limited resources. You're gonna have all these people trying to figure stuff out. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be real interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider with all of it. So.
Oh yeah.
So, looking forward, though, there was something else that we wanted to talk about, and we will absolutely do it after this segue to talk about ETB Games in Alexandria, Louisiana.
Yes, our local ETB Games. You can go there for whatever. D&D, Magic. We actually one time we went there. They were just for funsies. They were having a Magic the Gathering pre-release thing, which was really cool to just kind of get to watch as we did our Yu-Gi-Oh thing off in a corner. They have D&D stuff. They have rooms in the back and go into to play D&D in that you can actually reserve. I actually bought a book there. It was really cool. Really cool people. Check them out.
Yeah, definitely check out ETB Games in Alexandria, Louisiana. Like Caleb said, it is a spectacular. It really is a spectacular place to just get anything you need. And the link to that is in the description down below.
As always.
etbgames.com. Now, the second segment that we wanted to talk about, our secondary piece. So when we went to Road to the King looking for some OCG metagame breakdowns, what we found was something that we actually think is a lot more interesting, which is an article by Akira published here called The Science of Metagaming. So we have not read this article all the way through. From what we can tell, it dives pretty deep into some analytics and into some numbers. So be prepared. And there will be a link to this article in the description below. But we wanted to read through it here with our listeners and give our thoughts on it as we go. So it starts out with a definition. Metagaming is an approach to determine the tournament environment by examining past tournament results. A hypothesis proposes that tournaments having the same participant composition would produce different results. Testing are conducted by generating mock tournaments to examine and investigate the hypothesis. So essentially what this is saying is, if you have a tournament that has all of these different results, and you go back through, you analyze the results, and you have another tournament with the exact same participant pool.
Running the exact same people with the exact same deck.
No.
No?
The whole point is that it'll be different decks.
Oh.
Because if you let everybody go back through with the knowledge that they have, they'll do it differently.
Fair enough.
So the participant composition would be the same, but the composition of the decks is always going to be different because the metagame is always evolving. So, one is the introduction. In preparation for an upcoming tournament, players would predict the metagame in order to fine-tune their decks against their opponents. Analyzing past tournament results is a sound method to determine what decks, cards, and strategies are popular in the current metagame. So something similar to this might be, we can go in and we're going into a tournament. Perfect example, this weekend, we're going to a tournament. We can look at past results of the format and past results of other maybe OCG metagame results, whatever. And we can look at we can look at other tournament results.
Kind of get a feel for, okay, this deck's very popular because of this reason.
Right. And that is a sound method of determining the decks, cards, and strategies that are popular. Therefore, we can pick our counters to it reasonably. So, due to the limitations of the Swiss and single elimination tournament system, though, the tournament results may deviate due to the pairings. The hypothesis proposes that tournaments comprising of the same participant composition with a significant amount of participants and thus a reasonably sufficient amount of tournament rounds being played would produce different results from each other. So, two ICSs a month apart with this exact same 1,500 people would produce extremely different results.
Mm-hmm. Even if you were to somehow create this timey-wimey event where the same term is getting played out in two different timelines, you'd probably have completely different results by the end.
Yeah, because it's impossible in an event of this size to replicate everything exactly. So,
yeah.
Number 2 is the methodology. So this is all the methods about how they got to all these hypotheses and how they got to their conclusion. Mm-hmm. The metagame is made up of rock, paper, and scissors decks. Rock will always win against scissors, scissors will always win against paper, and paper always wins against rock. Standard stuff. In the mirror match, such as rock against rock, paper against paper, scissors against scissors, yada yada, the winner will be randomly assigned. Therefore, each deck has a 50% win rate.
I like how in the example they're given, they're using Obelisk, Cypher, and Raw.
It is rather nice, yes. So the metagame breakdown is 33% each of rock, paper, and scissors.
Yeah.
So each tournament is made up of 600 participants, comprising of 200 rock, 200 paper, and 200 scissors. The tournament format will be 8 rounds of Swiss, followed by a top cut, where the top 64 players advance to single elim. Players are randomly paired using Konami tournament software, so 3 tournaments will be run. Here's the results. Tournament 1, you have the top 64 is 16 rock, 21 paper, 27 scissors. But then when you get to tournament 2, you have 28 rock, 12 paper, and 24 scissors. Drastically different. And then the next one, you have 26 rock versus 14 paper versus 24 scissors. So each tournament started off with an even distribution of rock, paper, and scissors decks, but this distribution is not carried out over top cut. So tournament 1 champion is scissors, tournament 2 champion is paper, tournament 3 champion is rock. So 3 tournaments, 3 different winners. The champion of each tournament played against an uneven spread of opponents. So the first scissors played against 2 rock, 9 paper, 3 scissors. The second champion, paper, played against 5 rock, 8 paper, and 1 scissors. And the third champion played against 4 rock, so this is rock. He played against 4 rock, 0 paper, and 10 scissors. So let's discuss about this a little bit. The 3 decks have the same 50% win rate. Each has a 33.3% distribution in the tournament. So hence the expected value of top cut would be 21.3 for each deck. In all 3 tournaments, there are decks that underperformed and decks that overperformed. This is caused by the variance in the tournament pairings. In a 600-player tournament, the champion would only face up to 14 different opponents, and not all of the other 599 players. So, essentially, you can compare this to, you go into a tournament, and even if it's a tier 0 format, right, where, think pure Zodiac format. If you went into a pure Zodiac tournament, you could metagame it, and you could predict that you're going to see a lot of Zodiac, but you could not guarantee that it was the only deck you would see. Even if it represents a third of the field.
Even if it represents
80%
of the field. There's no guarantee that you won't round 1 go up against a deck that you just had no
idea was going to be there.
Yeah.
So, variance in pairings meant that each player would face an unequal amount of good matchups and bad matchups. The Champions Breakdown revealed that each of them faced very minimal bad matchups. In particular, the Tournament 3 champion Rock did not face a single paper opponent and had 0 bad matchups for all 14 rounds. So, this can be extremely comparable to a format like the one that we reference all the time, which is the Inzektor Wind-Up Dino Rabbit format.
Yep, that was a rock, paper, scissors format.
In a sense, yes. So, looking back now, if you play the format some more, really dive deeply into it, you can change the decks to where maybe one deck becomes the best deck of the format. But if you look at it at that time, it was generally considered that going first, Dino Rabbit had a good matchup against Inzektor. Inzektor had a good matchup against Wind-Up, and Wind-Up had a good matchup against Dino Rabbit. Sure, this is not guaranteed.
But nothing's guaranteed.
Right. But you could kind of have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in a format like that, when you start looking at it, think about it like this. In that format, Inzektor never won a YCS. Even though it was probably the most popular deck, it never won it because it was low rarity. It was cheap.
Yeah.
It never won a YCS. It didn't even win Nationals. It won Worlds that year, but that's because Worlds had Wind-Up and Dino Rabbit were not playable decks.
Yeah, because Wind-Up Rabbit and Shark were both TCG exclusives, not allowed. And
so is Rescue Rabbit and Tour Guide.
Yeah, both TCG exclusives, not allowed at Worlds.
And I think Zen Mains was also a TCG exclusive.
I don't. It doesn't matter. It really does.
Dolka was.
Yeah, Dolka was. It doesn't really matter though. But those two decks
not existing let Inzektor win.
Exactly.
In fact, Inzektor was tier 0 in the OCG for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to think about, though, is that was Inzektor actually just the worst deck of those? Not really. It just had a worse luck in tournament results. Like in actual tournaments, it was just unlucky.
Yeah, it had more of a. It was kind of this weird thing where if you're running Inzektor, you were probably going to see a lot of Dino-Rabbit.
Right.
Just due to because you're running Inzektor.
Yeah, that's how it worked out. So deck power level and their metagame share are not explicitly correlated. In a format where one or two decks have a significantly higher win rate than the rest, they would show up more consistently in the top cut and thus take up a bigger share in the metagame breakdown. But in a format where the win rate across decks are fairly even, the metagame breakdown across the tournaments would be quite varied. To objectively determine the power level of a deck, the deck has to be pitted against other top decks in the metagame to calculate its actual win rate. According to Frank Karstian's calculations, a sample size of approximately 400 games is required to achieve a margin of error of plus or minus 5%, so like 95% confidence interval. In a balanced and diverse metagame, the win rate difference between the top decks is usually no more than a few percent. A 5% margin of error is too wide to differentiate the power level accurately. To reduce the margin of error to 2%, a sample size of approximately 2,500 games is required. Assuming that we pick just the top 5 decks for our playtest. Wow. 10,000, 102,000 to 25,000. That's a big number. A lot of games are required to calculate the win rates between these decks. Playing 25,000 games is a well-nigh impossible task, especially with the rapidly shifting metagame. So this may also explain the difference in the metagame trend and preferences across different regions in a balanced metagame. Paper underperformed in Tournament 2 and 3, and that would lead to players in those regions to lean towards Rock, whereas Rock underperformed in Tournament 1, and players in that region would lean towards Scissors instead. The truth is, all three of these decks have the exact same power level at exactly a 50% win rate. So in conclusion, the hypothesis that tournaments having the same participant composition would produce different results stands correctly. By increasing the amount of mock tournaments used in the experiment, the averaged data is likely to converge towards an even 33.3% spread across each of the three decks. However, in practice, major tournaments with high participant counts are only held once a month on average. The metagame would have shifted in the period between two major tournaments, such as when you have two high-impact booster sets, such as Burst of Destiny and Deck Build Pack Graham Creators, that were released 6 weeks apart in the OCG.
Yeah.
In this case, it might be more accurate to analyze data from local tournaments held just a week or two before the major top tournament. Rather than presenting the power level of the decks, the metagame breakdown is more about gauging the popular decks, cards, and strategies based on players' preference and performance in various tournaments. So, essentially what this is talking about is that a lot of the times when they post these deck lists on, or they post these breakdowns on the Road to the King metagame site, it's all talking about a lot of smaller local tournaments, a lot of 50-man, 60-man, 70-man, 100-man tournaments.
As opposed to like a 2,500 person YCS.
Yeah. So, but they'll compile all of the results from a week's worth of those tournaments. It might be 10 tournaments. It might be, and when you compile all that and put it all together really quickly and really tightly within a week's results, it gives you a much, much better idea of what the format actually looks like. Yeah. So that's why if you look at it, going into a YCS, you don't want to look at the metagame and the results from the last YCS. That was 6 weeks ago.
There might have been a ban list between then and now.
Right, or a whole new set, or new product, or just shifting mindsets of the players. You don't want to look at something that happened 6 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago even, or even 2 weeks ago, and say, well, this is what the format looks like. This is what it is. I think that the players can very easily fall into that mindset of, well, the format is solved. This is what the format is.
Yeah.
when we both know that the metagame is constantly shifting.
Oh, don't I know it?
Even to this exact day, we're still... I mean, we have almost a week left of this format. This format is still moving. This format is still shifting.
I am constantly changing up my side deck and my main deck engine cards.
Yeah.
Constantly changing them out.
And even some of the engine cards sometimes, depending on what the format looks like.
Yeah.
So...
like me, back when I was playing Chalislime and Genius came out, it constantly bounced in and out of my main deck.
Right, and that's not even because of Genius. That's because of everything else in the format. I might run in Tri-Brigade, I might run 2 Karas sometimes, and sometimes I might run 3 Karas, just depending on the format. Sometimes, depending on the format, I might run a Zodiac package, and sometimes I might run a Rescue Cat package with Cyframe Gammas.
Maybe it's time to bust out that old Bird Up.
Honestly, I mean, even engine pieces can change depending on what's happening in the format. That's why it's so critical to always be cognizant and aware. When the regional circuit opens back up, I recommend everybody checking out the regional circuit. Keep an eye out for all the YouTube videos every single Saturday. They have probably 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 regionals
all over the US.
Yeah. There's always regionals happening somewhere, and so it's always worth watching and finding what the most recent regional results are. So,
right, because you're also going to definitely have people who, whatever the last regional, going up in the next regional, they're just going to net deck whatever won. You also have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, let's say we're in a deck, we're in a format. We just came out of a format. It was Drytron, Tri-Brigade, Prank Kids, right? More or less. Where you look at it, at the YCS, Pack won with Prank Kids, right? And Raphael Nevin won with Tri-Brigade, and then the South American one, I feel so bad about this, I don't remember his name, but the South American was won also by Tri-Brigade. Mm-hmm. And then the next weekend, there was a tournament coming up, and there was a case tournament at our locals. I said, dude, I know for a fact everybody and their mother is going to be playing Tri-Brigade and Prank Kids.
Yep.
And sure enough, everybody and their mother played Tri-Brigade and Prank Kids. Prank Kids won the event. But, you know what was 2 and 3 after Swiss? Drytron. Not because Drytron was a bad deck, just because it didn't win one of the other 2 YCSs doesn't make it a bad deck.
No, not at all.
But because it didn't win that YCS, it was a great metagame choice. Because people were less prepared for it. People are like, it's falling out of the format. People are not siding for it.
So I'm not even going to bring my Drolls for this tournament because I don't expect there'll be any Drytron.
Right, exactly.
And then they'll come up against Drytron and just go, oh no.
Right.
My Drolls.
That's when you have to make sure that the Drolls are included. That's when you have to make double sure, like, okay, so let's take it one step ahead. So... let's say Prank Kids and Tri-Brigade win those 3 tournaments. Okay, well, let's look at what people are going to play as a result. So, the smarter, better players are going to be prepared for and playing Drytron. Mm-hmm. So as a result, to metagame for that metagame shift, to out metagame them, we want to make sure that we have stuff sided for Drytron. We want to make sure that we have some Drolls sided. So,
just one random card.
Yeah. So, I always thought that it was really interesting, kind of taking it like that and playing it like that.
Oh, yeah. I know, because then it helps you to identify when it's a meta call to not play the meta. To not play whatever is the number 1 most popular deck right now. There's a time and a place to play it and a time and a place to not play it.
Right, I agree. So,
but I actually have a very good example of a time when not to play the meta. This was several years ago. This was back during Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. I'd actually gone to a VGC regional. That was also a card game regional. It was me and a group of friends all went. Yeah. 2 of my friends decided. It was me and I I'm not going to say any names here. It was me and one of these friends who were both in VGC, and then the other two were in the card game tournament.
Right.
Well, one of our friends decided that he was going to play against the meta and not play what the number one deck during that time was. I think it was like Sableye Turbo or something. I don't remember.
Sure.
And he decided to play Jolteon, which was not only one of his favorite Pokemon, also had a fantastic matchup against that specific deck. And the other friend said, no, this is the deck to play at this tournament. Because the deck also has a good matchup against itself. It becomes a 50-50 who's better at managing resources.
Right.
So this is the time to play this deck. Well, the friend who decided to play the Jolteon deck made day 2. The person who played meta, well,
it did not go well.
Round 3 he was X2 and dropped.
It goes to show you that sometimes just because something is the best deck does not always make it the correct choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have here. So we're probably gonna wrap up here soon. But I do have a few more of the top 16 results for the Chalislime monthly if you want it.
Ooh, yeah, let's go. Yeah, sure. Let's go over some of the more interesting.
Yep. Giant Skyhawk was gracious enough to send us these lists.
What a lovely man.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've got a dozen. Actually, I think I think actually he got all of them. Okay, so let's go with, we have a top 8 amazement list.
Ooh. Is it pure amazement or was it like amazement mixed with something else?
No, this is pure amazement.
I have to know.
This deck is running 9 monsters.
What is it? 3 Arlenchino, 3
2
Arlenchino.
Yep.
3 of this Ultra.
2 Arlenchino, 3 Ash, 1 each of 2 other monsters, which I'm guessing are the other 2 amazement main deck monsters. And then
I mean there's 3.
There's 3 total main deck monsters?
There's 4 total.
Oh,
one of them doesn't get run at all.
Well, then he's probably not running any of that one.
Yeah, it's a Bufo the teddy bear.
And so that's 7, and then the other 2 main deck monsters. No, this is definitely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah. The other 2 main deck monsters are Red Eyes and Dark Magician.
Ugh.
He's running 3 Red Eyes Fusion, 1 of a main deck spell card that I don't recognize, 3 Extravagance, 2 what look like Red Eyes Insight, 1 Call by the Grave, 3 Cross Out Designator, which is very interesting considering the sheer lack of hand traps here. 3 of the Amazement spell, 3 Torrential Tribute, 2 Cyclocoaster, 2 each of the other 2 ones, one of them, 2 There Chameleon 1, 3 Solemn Judgment, 3 Infinite Permanence. He's running 3 Dragoons, 2 Last Warrior from Another Planet. Oh, these 2 right here, those are Waking the Dragon. Gross.
Ugh.
Gross.
Hey, it what it man.
2 Verte Anacondas. Oh, man. Side deck. Oh, no, the 3 Waking the Dragons on the side deck. Those are okay, those are Tikaboos. And 3 Waking the Dragon on the side deck. 3 Evenleys. 2 Starlight Road with his 3 Stardust Dragons in the extra deck. 2 Lancias. 1 Lightning Storm. 3 Dark Rulers and a Depth Feather Duster. It's Warcrime.deck.
Yeah, that's still interesting, though.
It's an interesting Warcrime. Drytron is running 3 Diviner, 3 Herald. Looks like 2 Delta, 3 Gamma, 3 Beta, 3 Alpha, 1 Eva, 1 Draconids, 1 Herald of Ultimateness, 1 Benten, 1 Edatin, 1 Natasha. Then it's 1 Instant Fusion, 3 Cyber Emergency, 1 Foolish Burial, 3 Pot of Prosperity, 3 Drytron Nova, 1 Preparation of Rites, 2 Medionis Drytron, 2 of the Fafnir Field Spell, and 1 called by. The extra deck here is 1 Norden, 1 Millenniumize Restrict, 1 Herald of the Arclight, Zeus, Beatrice, Downerd, Mubeta, Kinkagashi Fucho. Looks like Goddess of the Underworld.
Man, I can never get that card's name in the first go.
Kinkagashi Fucho?
Yeah.
I can't either. That's wrong, but people know what I'm talking about. The rank 1 bird.
Yeah.
That looks like Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Looks Boral Sword. Looks like Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Phoenix, IP Masquerade, and Link Garibo. And then the side deck is 3 Lancia, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Duster, 3 Dark Ruler No More, 2 Forbidden Droplet, 3 Twin Twister, 1 Red Reboot. Good stuff. Next is that was a top 4 Drytron. First place, Prank Kids. 3 Roxys, 3 Lampsies, 3 Dropsies, 3 Fansies. That's the only 12 monsters in the deck, except for, of course, 1 Ash, 1 Nib, 1 Ghost Bell. There for the crossouts,
Designator,
which they're running 2 of. Everything else seems pretty normal. 3 Talents, 1 Mystic Mine, 1 Set Rotation. Boo. Got the Prank Kids place. 1 other field spell that I don't recognize. I don't know. It's interesting. 2 Tikaboos. You gotta run Tikaboos now. Yeah, pretty normal. Then third crossout, 3rd Tikaboo, 1 Skullmeister, 1 Twin, all in the main deck. They're exclusively for 1 Twin and 2 Cosmics in the main deck for crossout, which I find very interesting.
That is interesting.
Because he's running the Twin so the Cosmics are probably better in his opinion. But he's running the 1 Twin that way he can cross out it.
Yeah, he can negate the Twin should his opponent for some reason be making it.
And then Lancias, Drolls, the last 2 Nibs, and a Feather Duster. Phantom Knights, can't find the list. Top 4 Melfi Tri-Brigade. Which is
interesting.
This is amazing. Okay, so Gamma Package, 2 Karis, 3 Fractal, 3 Kit, 3 Nerval, 3 Rescue Cat, 3 Ash, 3 Melfi Caddy, 2 Calentosa, 1 Melfi. Oh, is that 3 Puppy, 1 Caddy? Is it 3 Puppy, 1 Caddy, or 3 Caddy, 1 Puppy? I can't tell.
Which one? What color is the 3 of?
They're the same color.
Hang on, I gotta look at this.
Well, okay. So here's the thing: is that.
Yeah, it's 3 Puppy, 1 Caddy. Yep, 3 Puppy, 1 Cat.
Okay, 3 Puppy, 1 Cat. And then 1 Effect Veiler. They're exclusively for the... Wait, they're not running... Okay, the crossouts are in the side deck. 3 Obedience Schooled. 1 Imperm. So why is he running 41 cards and he's running weird ratios of 1 Veiler, 1 Imperm, 1 Tri-Brigade Revolt for some reason?
Didn't Revolt get limited?
No. They remember they did 10 key.
Oh yeah, they did 10 key and they hit the Zodiac part of it instead.
Right. So, oh man, this looks weird. The extra deck, 1 of each of the Melfi Xyz, Zeus, Downerd, I think, Herald of the Arclight, 2 Shureg, Access Code, Appaloosa, Crossvogger, Rugal, 1 Bearbrum, 2 Ferjit, 1 Almirage. So yeah, I don't know that there's like too much to go over there. It seems pretty standard to me. So looking at the rest of the list here, that was most of the top 4. Do we have a top 8 at Ignister deck, top 16 Dragoon Guru, top 16 True Draco, top 16 Grand Maju, top 8 B Trooper, top 16 ABC, and top 16 Generator Tri-Brigade. Was there anything else in there that you just like really wanted to see?
I mean, the ABC decks, I want to know what on earth they were doing.
Of course. So you got 3 Nibs, 3 A Assault Core, 2 Union Driver, 3A, 3B, and 3C. Okay. 3 Ash, 3 Effect Veiler, 1 Gold Gadget, just the 1. 1 Terraforming, 3 Prosperity, 2 Cosmics, 3 Union Hanger, I do believe, 1 Called By, 3 Crossout Designator, 1 Set Rotation, 1 Zombie World, 3 of another card that I don't recognize, and 1 Imperm. Then, so there's 3 Union Hangers and 3 of another. Yeah, there's another one here that I don't recognize. So no Cyber Dragon line at all.
Yeah.
No Galaxy Soldiers, nothing. Then you've also got 3. So your extra deck is 3 ABC Dragon Buster or Dragon. What's it called? ABC what?
ABC Dragon Buster.
Okay, 3 ABC Dragon Buster, 1 Daiguso Emerald, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Access Code, 1 Appaloosa. That's a lot of Link 4s. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Nightmare Phoenix. Oh man, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Platinum Gadget, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Barricade Borg Blocker, and 1 Lina the Light Charmer, maybe? And then your side deck is 1 Pank, 3 Droll, 3 Ghost Bell, 3 Dark Ruler No More, 3 Solemn Strike, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, and 1 Cosmic Cyclone. It's an interesting list. I think that it was mostly just ABC control, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the 1 gold gadget is interesting. I figured if you're running the gadgets, you'd run silver 2.
I guess not. I guess
Yeah.
it's probably just a link climbing extender because you can go into platinum and then I think search and summon the
pull out-
gold.
Yeah, summon the gold and immediately go into unicorn.
Yeah, and then just keep climbing. So that's probably what it is. Yeah. The only other list that was really interesting to me was the B Trooper list. So this list is running only 2 Scout Buggy.
I mean, you technically only need 2.
I guess I would want 3 though.
Yeah. You know, because then you're essentially running a 38 card deck.
Yeah, and this is a 43 card deck. So you got 1 normal monster, which is there for Goki Pull, 1 Nibiru, which is there for Crossout, 1 Doom Dozer, 2 Scale Bomber. Looks like it's got I say small, probably about a 9 card Battle Wasp package, 1 Effect Veiler, 2 Goki Poles, 3 Resonance Insect, of course. It looks like 3 maybe Retaliating Sea, 1 Skullmeister in the main. It's a 10 card Battle Wasp package. 1 Ash in the main, just there for Crossout.
Yep.
1 B Trooper Formation, 1 B Trooper Flying Sting, 1 Infinite Permanence, 1 Called By, 3 Triple Tactics Talents. Pretty standard stuff, honestly. Just 1 Cicada King. All of the Link 2s, every insect link you can find, basically. 2 Godarlas, 2 Contact Seas in this side, 1 Droll in this side. All just stuff for Crossout, essentially. So
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some interesting stuff there to think about and some interesting lists to think about. The full deck list breakdown will be on YugiOhProDeck.com. Not today, but soon. By the time this releases, it'll definitely be there.
Yeah, it should. If not, it'll probably be the next day.
So, but I think that'll pretty much wrap us up for today. I know that we were kind of eclectic. We were kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on. I've got this new puppy, which is currently chewing on a blanket. He is everywhere and is crazy distracting mid podcast. So
Very much so.
yeah. So sorry if we seem distracted. It's because, we are.
Yes.
So, but if you would like to get in on the podcast question of the day, be sure to check that out on Twitter. And you can also find us on Discord. You can find our Patreon. You can find links below to all of those, as well as the links to ETB Games, our sponsor, as well as the Team Darkroom Dealings YouTube channel, which is our sister YouTube channel. And
As per usual.
Right. And for those on Patreon, your extra episode will be out on Wednesday as per usual. I believe Wednesday we will be reviewing Pharaoh's Servant.
That sounds right.
I think the last one that we did was Magician. No,
it was Spell Ruler.
Magic Ruler. So we did Magic Ruler and whatever the next set after Magic Ruler is. I think it's Pharaoh's Servant. So
no, we didn't do Pharaoh's Servant. We just didn't.
That's the next one coming.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So be looking forward to that. So thank you again to all of our patrons. And I think that'll wrap us up. Have a good one, everybody.
Take care, everybody.